gold, you deny them experience, you win through an item advantage, and then you win team fights, get objectives, snowball. But Sivir, like, she's not going to get denied by Urgot at all, I don't think.
But there is the potential, though, with the Shyvana with Exhaust to get a kill once Urgot is 6. Because once you do the swap with an Exhaust from the jungler, you're in trouble. Because you're not going to get away very, very easily. And that's one potential they do have of killing Sivir in bottom lane there.
I do agree with that.
The swap into Exhaust.
But I think EG is going to know that that's what CLG wants to do. As everyone was watching OGN, everyone watched that strategy used against CLG. No one is going to be surprised by an Urgot swap in a jungler gank. So I think they're going to be wary and have Unstoppable in the area to counter gank when that happens. And I think that's going to be the smartest play from EG to win that lane.
Well, I'm kind of thinking with the Karthus pickup as well is that Urgot likes to do the swaps for engage sometimes as well. And that's going to be one of the main forms of engage is the swap. And the problem with that is he's going to get swapped into Karthus E range, unless they swap Karthus, obviously. Yeah. But then Karthus isn't going to mind being swapped too much into a melee team.
Karthus kind of wants it.
Yeah, exactly. So that means Urgot's going to be out of position in range of Karthus, which is a problem because he should get evaporated by a wall and then E straight away from Karthus and Q damage. Or they swap Karthus, and then Karthus is quite happy to sit there in Shyvana Olaf range and go, okay, kill me and I'll still deal damage to you after I'm dead, and it's no problem.
If I can be frank, I don't think CLG has any way to deal with Aphromoo. Like, the more I look at this comp, they have to break down the Udyr wall, which Hotshot can do by himself, but Saint can't. So Hotshot either separates from Saint and gets picked off by himself, like everyone turns and focuses him, or Aphromoo gets to just free cast on the entire team. And Sivir is still, like, completely devastating when she's able to just get free auto attacks on everybody. So I'm kind of, like, the more I think about it, CLG doesn't have the burst to take care of Sivir through Wings of Death's ultimate. Lulu's ultimate is burst HP, which means it's immune to Ignite, and because it's a defensive ability, it's also immune to Exhaust. So she's going to be able to keep Aphromoo alive. Like, that burst HP is going to make her live through Hotshot, and it's going to make her live through Saint. So as long as Aphromoo and Wings of Death do not fall hideously behind, I don't think CLG has any way that they can actually win team fights here.
But looking at the team setup, they don't have to win team fights. They could easily go for a split push with TF.
I don't. Okay, they're 3 minutes behind, but Nat flashed.
He did. I can see that.
I don't. I think it's okay to say that. He definitely accidentally flashed. That's a thing. So,
I guess he went to press CV and press flash.
Yeah, that's all it's got to be.
It looks like it was, yeah. So they're both going for a similar invade, so probably both blue buffs are going to be taken or just scouted and then retreated back.
I do like this Dorn's Blade start from Urgot. Typically you go with a boot start to prevent taking unnecessary harass, but when you have a Soraka, start Dorn's Blade. Like, just take the advantage in lane. It's not a big deal. You don't have to waste the money on the potions typically, as long as you play intelligently and don't, like, face check against a kill lane, you'll be fine. I really like that.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, obviously, like you said, with Soraka, he's got the sustain there anyway, so if he does take a bit of harass, it's okay as long as he doesn't just, you know, go all in and get himself killed early game.
Now, good clairvoyance here, but I think, CLG was waiting for that. And as soon as the CV wears down, they're going to crawl into this bush and catch everybody completely.
Aphromoo. Triple H. So the pop goes down from the card and the exhaust, so first blood goes straight away. Only Soraka didn't get an assist on that, unfortunately. So they're going to pick up this blue buff for free now. Udyr's going to retreat straight away. Oh, he's going to go over and steal the blue straight away. Good choice by Unstoppable to go straight for this blue.
He has
knowing
to.
The whole team was there. So
he totally has to, because Hotshot is going to be checking that as soon as he recalls. And that's a big reason, like, why you don't skill up your ability until you actually have to use one. Afro got killed there because he put the point into Q before the fight before he needed to put a point into Q. And if he would have had Spell Shield, he would have been able to Spell Shield the gold card and flash away and not give up First Blood.
I think you put it in Q to help out on the wolves.
Yeah, but you don't need that.
You don't need to, no, but I think he felt safe enough that nothing was going to happen, and
yeah, he got baited by his clairvoyance, basically, into putting that point there. Now,
so we might see Shyvana go early top. She's just checked a blue, so ambitious, so he's realised that he did take the blue. Who did take it? So
everything, even the CV went out on the red from Nat to try and get a bearing on Saint, figure out what kind of aggression to expect. And they didn't see Saint, so they know that they're pretty safe, and they know that Unstoppable needs to keep his eyes open because Saint could be in his woods. Now, CLG, very smart of them here to go ahead and make an aggressive play based on hitting level 2 earlier. What they're doing now is they're aggressively denying because they know that Afromu and Nat cannot fight back as they're underleveled. So now that Afromu...
I was going to say, I mean, the one thing I did see, Urgot is skill shot based, in my opinion, with the E and Q. And like when we were talking about the lag earlier, they're going to go for safe pick. So this is quite a gamble, in my opinion. I'll make sure you land all the Q damage.
Yeah. It's a bit of a gamble. Just a bit. And Hotshot doing a very good job against Lulu so far. I am trying to change the overlay and it's not acting up. Or it is acting up, I should say.
Bottom lane, Urgot doing his damage as usual. He's actually not focusing on Severe, he's focusing on Janna.
That's the right target, 100%.
Which, yeah, it's definitely the right target, but like we were saying, Severe does have that E to be able to spell shield everything and block the damage, so doing his best to abuse Janna, who's not going to be able to do that and get off the poke damage and force Severe into a 2v1 situation when Janna has to recall. Udyr coming bottom though, and it is warded, so they should see this, but they are a bit overextended still. The ward was really, really close, so he probably could have engaged then, he decided not to.
They didn't know where Saint was.
Meanwhile, top lane, Wings of Death taking a bit of damage from that reckless swing from Hotshot, getting dropped quite low, and he's going to keep pushing this. He misses the axe though, which I think he probably could have got even more damage off there.
Hotshot sold the axe a little bit short, and I think if he would have landed it, he could have gotten the next hater strike off, and that would have basically
I think he would have got killed then.
Yeah,
in my opinion, because he still had his ignite up as well, so he definitely would have got the second blood there.
Well, his ghost is about to be up, and that's going to be a huge factor here if he chooses to play on it. And I think everyone on EG knows exactly that. So Udyr might want to be in the area to make a play happen if Hotshot tries to go in on Lulu too hard.
This dragon is so early. Wow.
This is good play.
Well, we saw some of this at OGN, didn't we? And that's what I think they're going to abuse, the fact that they've seen it and they're going to take it nice and early. Shyvana, very good at taking it, especially with Soraka to give the heals. So early dragon picked up by CLG at the 5:39 mark.
Oh my! So 11:39 is when we're going to see the dragon again.
Epic, they're going to have no idea about that either. I mean, they did see Soraka disappear, and Shyvana, you know?
Yeah,
you expect her to disappear.
That's really good play from CLG. From CLG. They knew that Afromu can't really fight up against Urgot right now. Like, you can't win that lane, but it's very hard for you to lose it as Sivir, which is what we said earlier. And because of that, you can't establish control, which means that Dragon is open. And they used that Urgot pick as well as they possibly could have. Like they were able to secure a Dragon.
Okay, they did just CV it now, so they know. Epic knows Nat did CV the Dragon then, because what it was TF was in mid and started recalling, and they thought he'd gone back earlier when he was doing Dragon, but then when they realised he'd not gone back yet, they were like, where the hell did he go to then? And that's when the CV went down, so
that's smart. They
know it's been done.
Oh, and GG actually just buys a whole needless 6 minutes into this game.
Wow. That just shows you how big Dragon is this early on, because it's huge. That much gold this early is really, really big, to be honest.
I don't know that was... I mean, that's going to be incredibly huge for him to push the wave, but that's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous to go with that, but it's going to help his gank so much.
Yeah, definitely, so much more. And they know the Dragon's up, so they know the blue buff's up soon for Epic, and Shyvana's already coming around. We've got TF with his ultimate. He is 6, So they're going to have good potential of ganking this now, and everyone's starting to collapse. And
Ooh,
it's
Salsy's a little worried here.
Saucy's going to get himself in trouble if he tries to come in. Yellow card is out for Big Fat. So
Yeah, they're just taking this right in front of him.
What can he really do about it, Big Fat?
Oh.
Flash from that.
What?
That flashed randomly again. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You just hit a wall.
Does Nat have a new keyboard?
I don't know. Unless he was trying to flash through the wall to get in a bit better position to keep
I mean,
the pin.
that's
Is unusual.
That's still like, so thinking about that play, like if he would have flashed forward to go for a tornado or something, I think he still would have put himself in a bad spot because CLG could have just turned and killed him if he would have flashed into them. Like he's not.
It's unusual for a mechanical error like that. That's my point, and that's why I was like, well, he must have been doing it for a reason.
There has to be like a plan behind it. And I think maybe like they were just saying, "Go, we have to do something. We have to do something." So now it's like I'm gonna make a play here, and then no one backs him up, so they just don't. Like that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yep. So pretty much a 2K lead, and that all comes down to the first blood and the early dragon.
Yeah. Yep.
And a 2K lead early on is a big lead. You know, we saw in the last game, Epic versus MTW versus Curse, that there was 2K lead at the 20-minute mark, and that was pretty big. So it just shows you that earlier on in the game, that extra goal is going to really help the CLG in lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something they picked up for the trip to Korea, I believe. So
they totally are pushing Nat around this lane, and this is really good play from Double Lift, targeting properly and just bullying Nat, making him completely unable to make a play, and that's giving them control over every single element in the bottom half of the map, which has been Dragon and Blue Buff so far.
But also, Severe can't CS 2v1. Because if she goes in and a situation's bad, if Siobhan is down there for a gank, she's going to die.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Just the ultimate from Urgot is going to put her in such a terrible position.
Going for a roam.
Yeah, this
does
looks
get spotted by a ward. Oh, no, he's just going to go and ward the Wraiths. I thought he might have been poking. He's going to pick up the Wraiths himself.
It did look like he was going top based on his positioning. And I think Saint wants to get the timer on Unstoppable's red here, just to be in position for a counter jungle at the next spawn.
He has taken his red already, though, so yeah, I know what you mean. Looks like Shyvana's going top, though. He has got double buff against Lulu, and he's going to try and sneak in, but he's going to get spotted by the tower, obviously, and Lulu immediately being wise to back around, but Shyvana realised this, so this is going to come around. TF ultimate comes in, the ultimate and the flash ultimate in favour for Wings of Death. Perfectly safe, no problems, it's okay, I'm fine. And that's what we'll talk about, the gank potential. Bottom lane, Urgot does get dropped by the Udyr gank.
Yep, good play from EG to make something happen on the other half of the map, and Urgot used his swap to try and fight, I think, and then they had Udyr nearby to make something happen off of that.
They've got to push this tower and try and kill it as quick as they can, I think, to try and even out the gold a little bit because of that early dragon.
Yeah, I don't usually advocate taking a tower this early, but in this case, I think there's no downside to it if they need to get it.
That's tower, and Wings of Death is in a bit of trouble here. He should be able to get back to his tower with his Whimsy, though. But Hotshot keeping him pinned up here. Bit dangerous, but he knows Udyr's bottom, and that's why he's doing it, because he can abuse that fact.
Yep. And GG has just such total control over mid with that early needless, and they haven't punched him at all for it, which makes it just the most ridiculously big lead I've ever seen.
Hotshot could get in trouble here because Udyr is here. You can see the golem being killed, so he knows he's in the bush. Stun goes out, the ultimate is popped from Hotshot straight away. Wings of Death is here to try and slow down, but the ultimate's on. Karthus ultimate comes out, so he's going to take a lot of damage. The stun does go down because the ultimate wears off from
Good play,
Olaf.
good play. And we have Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, did we say?
I believe
11:59?
5:38, so yeah, around that.
Oh, okay, so 10 seconds. Do you think either team is going to go for a rush on it? Obviously CLG won't, but do you think EG is going to want to go for it as soon as they see that it's up?
Only just know they've only just got the spawn timer on it now, so they know it's up now, but this is already an oracles, so...
Saints Oracles is a big deal here.
He didn't get the ward in the bush, and John did just put that down, so... They're going to go straight for the dragon again. This is what they're doing. Lulu's coming down. Olaf has just respawned, so this is going to be a 4v5 if Lulu managed to get here. They're doing a good job of poking them off it as much as possible to stop them from picking it up this quickly. Good defensive play from Epic to keep them from doing it.
Yeah. Good play from CLG to get some poke out, and good play from Epic to...
Not giving up on it, though.
Yeah.
CLG do still want this, and they're going to go aggressive
I
for
think
it.
CLG knows that they have an
That
early
just
game
failed
oriented
a
comp.
ward over the wall there, so Nat's having a bad time
Are
at
you
the moment.
are you
Did
sure?
you see that? Yeah, it's on the wrong side of the wall.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason for a wall.
Yeah, he
for a
just
ward
he
there.
just tried to ward over, and it failed.
That's
And
such a thin wall, though. Like,
yeah, but this is like he flashed twice strangely as well. But the ping wall's gone down now from.
he's got to be on someone else's computer right now. That's the only thing that makes
There's
sense.
something odd with Nat because that's not usual for him at all. About having to
No,
be going.
Nat is such a mechanically strong player that this is. It's actually baffling me. Now,
So they're
do you
going
think
to try and
CLG
start
wants
doing
this?
it.
Like,
They do, and TF's doing a good job of pressuring mid to try and force them to have to defend one of the other
Nat
here.
knows what's up, though.
Coming around there is here. Carthus is here with a nice wall, but they turn onto him straight away. Hotshot's going to try and get some damage off onto him. Lots of damage going on. He's getting dropped low. The ignite goes off, but Hotshot's in a lot of trouble because the whole team's there.
Oh, he gets salty.
Does manage to pick him up at the end. Meanwhile, Savage is having to use his ultimate to get away from this fight. They're going to continue to engage. Doublelift's in a lot of trouble here, though. He does have to burn flash, but does pick up in response for the UD kill. Big Fat's here, though. That needlessly now Roger should do some work. He's got enough mana because Soraka just gave him some. They're just going to poke him back out now, so that was a 2-for-1 exchange.
GG is just shoving that rod all over EG.
And now
like,
they're going to
that
get this
is-
dragon.
Yeah.
I don't think Saint's not going to give this up. And Aframu's going to do his best to try and stop this. I think he's going to check it. See they're still going for it and go, what?
He's
really?
got to walk away. Like
Stuff he can do.
He has to. GG is
Well,
just so big right now with that needless.
Yep, and he's doing a good job of his owning.
Oh, Chowster's gonna die!
The dragon was aggroed onto Chowster, so the dragon turned around and went, okay, I'll kill you. Now Big Fat's got no mana against Aframu here. Ultimate comes out from Carthus, this could be big.
And Saint does
Afro
manage
could
to
kill him.
get the
Afro could kill
dragon.
him. The exhaust from Saint Vicious manages to save him. He gets away. Olaf turns up now, and now Severe could be in trouble, but the rest of the team have regrouped, so Epic could turn this and kill Hotshot yet again.
They know
He
Hotshot
does
doesn't have
try to
ulti.
slow himself down. He's down, and Afro's got no mana though, so he can only auto attack and keep up. Flash over from Carthus, nice wall flash! So Hotshot's in big trouble. He manages to get his team in range for the slows. Hotshot getting picked off.
Double ward here. Double ward. Just
Double checking twice as much. They want to make sure they have double
fantastic.
vision.
Wards holding hands, everybody. And they're stealing this red. So good. So good here. Like, picking up the 2 kills is nice. Like, that's a compensation prize. It's them making something out of what would normally be them getting totally rolled because that fight was disgusting. But taking this red is actually a pretty big deal. And giving it to Afromu, in particular, is going to be just massive for bottom lane. And if they get mid-tower here...
You're going to get mid-tower, definitely.
Oh, yeah, okay. So EG in a good spot here. They're
So red, 2 kills.
down 2 dragons is a big deal, but up mid-tower is super important. Super important. And GG actually poking around with his ultimate, just kind of trying to see where everyone is, looking for a good pick-off.
Yep.
Yeah. Because he is incredibly far ahead. Look at this ridiculous build. Look at this. Look at how little he actually cares about anything.
Straight for the rabbits.
Yeah.
He did pick 1 Doran's ring, so...
Yeah, I mean...
He's a little bit of mana sustain, I suppose.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think he picked up that ring because he couldn't afford anything else. Like, he went back one time and was just like, a ring seems fine,
Ring will
I guess,
do.
if I have to.
I suppose.
Yeah.
It's no need to dodge rod, but you know, we'll make do. Olaf Hotshot's invading to see if he can get a steal on this red before possibly gank mid.
Afro's getting businessed on down here, though. Like, Doublelift has nailed him with 2 corrosive hunters, twice in a row, like, Noxian corrosive charges. There we go. Just been hitting him with it, and there's very little that Afro is doing about it. Like, probably because Chowster's there. I want to imagine what happened on the first one was Afro tried to spell shield it, and Chowster ran in there and silenced him to proc the spell shield so the Doublelift could land the corrosive charge. And I'm going to make that play up because I can, and no one can tell me otherwise. Bam. So, CLG in a pretty good spot here. They've got a 2k gold lead, but it's not unrecoverable for EG. They're down 2 dragons. They're down quite a bit of CS, 30 CS bottom. Top, they're down 95 to 110. They're up 15. And mid is just ridiculous. I don't even care about mid. Like 10 CS difference, but GG has a death cap already. I mean, I guess 17 for a death cap. That's not unheard of. Not unheard of. So it's just really good play there. And
Well, they're trying to steal
CLG,
this red. It
yeah,
looks like
they want
they
this
were trying to, but
badly.
it's down at the moment. The possible dive onto Karthus, maybe?
I think that's what they want. I think they want to
Looks
dive
like
him and
a
take
long way
mid.
around.
Because mid is pretty low. And if they take this, then...
Well, they're all grouping for it now, because look, bottom's come up here, got
Yep,
and
yep.
Soraka are both here. They're going to go for a 5-man. They want this mid tower badly.
And EG has a ward here, just to let everybody know what's up.
But Hotshot's going to lose some farm in top if he stays there too long, because that's how he's going to take some free harass, and they're waiting a long time for this. And now they're all here, finally grouped. They still see Severe bottom, and Lulu was still top, so they will pick up this tower, I think, but I don't know at what cost. We'll have to see. No, it's definitely just going to be free. They're not going to be in position to do anything about it, so...
They can't stop it. Afro is completely out of position here. Blue is spawning right now, so they should be totally fine to take this uncontested from CLG. And CLG knocking down that tower is just so smart because it lowers the relative gold it increases the relative gold difference is what
But
I'm
it's
saying.
it's also about map control as well.
Yeah,
It's a big thing to
completely.
lose your mid tower. And with CLG losing theirs, you can see how important it was by the fact that bottom lane and top both came to mid to take that down that tower and make the game even again on map control.
Yep. Now, Junglers, Saint is 15 CS ahead, but Saint rushed Wriggles, whereas Unstoppable went with the earlier Heart of Gold. So despite Saint being up 2 dragons and like 15 CS, he's only 500 gold ahead. So Unstoppable doing a good job mitigating his down. And this is very interesting here that a lot of people don't realize. In a tournament game, you don't build Wit's End on Udyr first. You go for a more support build because you know you're not going to be like street fighting people the way you would in solo queue. In solo queue, you build a Wit's End early because you want to be able to like 1v2 people, 2v3 people, just beat the crap out of everyone. And, ooh, good gank up here. No, I think they're just going to take this tower.
I was just thinking about as you were talking then that Hotshot's actually put no points into his W.
That's
At all.
that's a super good point.
And he's also not got any sustain apart from his Philosopher's Stone, which he's picked up.
He's really just all-inning Wings of Death, basically. Like every time they get into a fight, he's just going in as hard as he possibly can. That's really smart.
Well, he's relying on the Philosopher's to give him enough health regen in this lane, and feels like he's not going to get ganked. So
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to gank Olaf to begin with. Like, ultimate...
yeah, with it's very difficult. Whoever you are, however much CC you have, is it's really.
Like, even without the ultimate, it's hard for Udyr to gank Olaf, because if Olaf maxes Q, Udyr can't really get in close without using Flash, because Olaf can just, like, axe once and get enough distance to get out of there.
He did put a point in at level 12,
Yeah.
but meanwhile, it looks like I think
Dragon's
they're going
up.
to pick this dragon.
What do you
And
think
they're not in a
CLG
position
wants to do? They just want to take top
Well,
tower
look, they're
here?
going to take top tower, I think, in trade. I think that's what they want to do. It's what they're going to do, basically,
Yeah.
because they're not going to be able to get to this dragon now. They must know it was going on. They should have a timer on it, so...
They definitely knew. They just made the conscious decision to give up the dragon here because they knew that they
They're trying
could
to push
afford it.
top even harder now because they can see them all mid. Hotshot's keeping them busy. They might try and get a bit of free damage off in this next lane because 4 of them are up here.
This is
But they realise-
all of CLG is backing right now, so this tower is going to go down.
Hotshot does get engaged and he has to pop his ultimate in the end because he hits by the wall and the Q from...
They don't get the
Lulu.
Hex Drinker proc, so Salsi doesn't use his ultimate there because he knows he won't get a kill. Very smart on Salsi to
Red buffs up,
to
blue
not
buffs
waste
up.
that.
CLG could lose both buffs here, but
I don't think they
lose-
will. Wings is too low, Afro is too low. If they get into a fight, then they lose, and then they get Baron. CLG gets Baron off that. So Afro has to heal. Really, they have to take shifts healing because if both of them recall CLG... Oh!
Nice flash swap. Karthus is in a bad position here, but he's not got his E up yet. He does put it up finally just as he dies. Severe's low, so he's got to be careful. Udyr gets exhausted and he's taking a lot of damage from the whole team. Soraka does come in close, use the spell shield, but meanwhile Lulu does get caught. I won't call her Lux then. Lulu does get caught and drop TF with his ultimate. Has popped it. He's going to be able to probably pick off Severe. He is, because the spell shield is down. She pops the heal though.
That blue
She's
card.
just, the flash is forced.
Oh, that blue card, GG.
He does turn onto Nat though, and Nat takes a chunk, but it's not going to be enough to kill him. He should be able to back out, but they're going to pick up mid tower for this in trade for certain. Good engage from double lift there to pick up Karthus.
That was such a good engage. Wow.
I'm actually almost certain Soraka silenced Karthus then, so he couldn't get his E up in time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we saw reduced damage taken before Karthus, was in his death mode.
And
they
just
took a lot of damage
slow reactions from EG because none of them expected that. I don't think a single person expected an initiation like that. Like Double Lift just made a fantastic play there. Really, really, like I don't want to say unexpected because that's insulting, but I've never seen Double Lift do an engage like that on Urgot yet. So good play, so good.
It was a good play, but when you think about the team and what they've got, that's their only 5v5 play they can make.
That's their only initiation, yeah.
Yeah,
they can't suicide bomb TF.
If they want to initiate, they're going to have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm confused that, in a way, Epic, you didn't expect it, but at the same time, Epic knows that's their only initiation, so...
Well, they had an Oracles, right? So they
assumed
that CLG didn't have vision, so they were kind of like separating and planning on when to recall. But there was a very clever ward in this L bush right here that gave Double Lift the vision to make that play, and Udyr didn't see it because Udyr was down here in the river when that happened. So that was just... that was just really, really good from CLG to get that kind of ward coverage out.
They're taking the advantage now. They're like 7k ahead.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Dragon Baron control at the moment, and they know the blue buff spawned because they're all collapsing straight away into this Baron. They realise there's no ward coverage. They've also got TF with the ultimate.
We're in the back. We're in the back from
Saint. I
Saint.
didn't see that one. I apologise.
And he's not... That was so good. All of CLG waited around the corner so that they wouldn't telegraph that they were going to try and do Baron. And here comes the CV.
CV does go down and spot them all, though, so they're going to have to back off from Baron at the moment. But Nat's going to have to ward over. He does do so. Does manage to get his ward over the wall this time, which is good.
Unstoppable recalling. Nat recalling to pick up more wards. Actually, he's got 2. Maybe an Oracles? No? Unstoppable still has Oracles. What you doing, Nat? What's your play here? More wards. 5 more wards. Okay. I'm happy with that play, actually. I'm very happy with that.
So Hotshot went for the Philostone, and he's built that into his Shurelya's, which is brilliant, because he's going to need that for the engages.
That's not a surprising build at all, and I'm really happy to see it used here. We've seen it picked up we've seen it used quite a bit. Voyboy does it, Hotshot does it, and... I'm trying to remember the Korean top laner, but every time I think Korean, I just keep getting stuck on many reason. And
setting up for Baron again.
It was Mac Noon.
Pushed.
Mac Noon does it as well.
So the Baron is going to be started straight away by CLG, and that's going to ward over the wall. See, this is going on, but the team, Lulu is a bit far away at the moment. She should get there in time, though, to do something. Udir's going to come around with his Oracles, try and push them out. Double ward's going over to worry them and make them back out of this.
That's pretty risky from CLG, but because they're in such a commanding lead and they take such little damage from doing this, it's not really at any cost to them. They could pull it all day. And
the lanes are pushing. Top's pushing, bottom's pushing, so they've got advantages to keep the pressure on here, you know?
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I just said they could pull it all day, and all I could think is that's what she said, but...
You're just rude all the time. So they're going to engage and get onto it and force them to keep fighting this. TF is mid though, so they might not believe this is going on, but Karthus...
They have to wear these wards out and make EG face check. Like, they know that EG can't initiate on them. Like, they're entirely aware of that, so they're abusing it hard.
They can abuse the fact that they can keep going at Baron, and TF can split push and still get to the team fight, and that's what he's going to do, it looks like. But
his ult range is a little low.
Yeah, I agree, and Epic realises they're going to move in to clear out these wards, I think, to limit the vision and get some wards in decent positions. So
GG's going to get bottom.
GG is going to get that bottom tower. I don't think they're
phenomenally stacked right now. So EG has to force something. They have to. If they go bottom right now, CLG gets Baron. If they ignore it, GG gets an inhibitor.
No, he's going to back out just at the right time. The ward does go off a bit late. It's not going to be enough to catch him. So
if EG doesn't make a play right now, then they lose this game. Any indecisiveness is going to throw it completely. They have to do something.
Well, GG's still pushing bottom. And so I think they're going to see if he appears, and he has appeared, so they know he's there. And his health's not great. He's just over half health, so If he does come in, they're going to start it. They've got wall coverage and they're trying to force him. Sivir does use her ultimate though to get the speed boost on Udyr, and Udyr flashes, so does Karthus. They're going to get as much damage on them as they can. They're all grouped on Karthus here, taking a lot of damage. The amount of heal from Janna though and Wings of Death are keeping them both alive. Salci's in a lot of trouble though. The Ignite's on. He does finally go down, but the Karthus is going to take out Chowster for certain. Everybody else is going to survive. Meanwhile,
as long as EG traded, they win because GG's getting bottom racks right now. So they still CLG has enough alive to go.
Vicious did walk into it, and Doublelift was right behind him. Doublelift's going to be picked off immediately.
Good play, good play.
So they could probably get Baron here, but they're going to lose. They've lost the inhibitor, and they're going to lose one of the Nexus towers.
Oh no!
He's popped his ultimate. He's seen where they're all on. GG's like, no, I'm going to keep going.
He can't.
So this could be game.
Yeah, if they lose this, it's over. There's no coming back from losing both Nexus towers and bottom inhibitor.
Even if they die, they're doing a good job because they're limiting and recalling.
Yeah.
So Hosh does get picked off from Severe in the end, but he does limit enough for GG to get both Nexus towers, and you've got a TF. So as soon as you try and move away from that, now TF can backdoor you. So Soraka Severe top lane, and John are gonna pick up Saint Bishop. I don't think he's gonna be able to get away from this. He does end up getting picked off,
and GG gets out of there in one piece. This is really, really bad for EG. Like, they need to take Baron right now, or it's game. If they don't,
I can't see Epic winning this now, because even if they do get Baron, like just one person leaving the base and.
Well, no, he's not going to try and backdoor the Nexus because the Nexus is pretty tanky. But if EG does not get this Baron right now, CLG is just going to loiter around Baron for the rest of the game and make sure.
The E goes down. He's going to pick onto Janna straight because she's really low on health. And she does drop. The Baron does go though, and straight away Udyr dropped really low because Big Fat's damage is nasty on Chowster at the moment. Sorry, on TF at the moment. He's taking a lot of damage though, and he does manage to pick them both up.
I think that's it. So, I think they're going to go for the Nexus right now.
The pinks are going down from from CLG straight away, so they know. And TF's ultimate should be up shortly. No, it's not going to be a few minutes yet. So
yeah. The big reason they rushed that play down, and the reason I'm sitting here like losing my mind over them getting bottom inhibitor, is because if EG didn't take that Baron right there, all CLG would do is they would sit here. They wouldn't do Baron, they would shut out vision, and they would just sit around. And they would wait until one member of EG went bottom to stop the super creeps, because the super creeps can throne them while they're out of the base. Like, that's how big they are. They can throne 3 separate waves with only 2 super creeps and still beat the crap out of the Nexus.
Just to try and keep them back.
Yeah.
But CLG don't really care. They're going to push all 3 lanes because they know now, with no Nexus turrets, someone's going to have to stay and defend against the minions.
All of them are going to have to stay and defend. Having 6 super creeps a wave is impossible for most casters to defend. Karthus can do it. But Lulu would lose. Udyr probably wouldn't be able to clear them fast enough. Janna, that's a joke. But they need both Karthus and Sivir there, so they have to make a play happen.
Sivir does use her ultimate and go for it. Big style. Udyr goes in, Karthus is in there, Doublelift in a lot of trouble. He's going to go down. GG's next to fall, but the flash just go off, and the heal from Soraka does help him out.
Oh, he's going to go for the Nexus.
He uses his ultimate. He's popped
he's going for the Nexus.
But he's going to get caught by the cube. No, he misses the cube dust from Sivir, so he's going to go for the Nexus. The whole team's retreating
he's running.
now.
He's
Meanwhile,
running.
CLG going to try and push this top lane a little bit more.
Yeah.
He forced the engage off as quick as he could there. Because he's got Lich Bane now, so he's going to do decent damage to that Nexus.
Yeah, he's going to do more than decent damage, right? Because casters get...
Hotshot versus Karthus top lane though, and Karthus is taking a lot of damage, but so Sasha, he was exhausted. But he does end up picking him up, and there's no ultimate from Karthus because he used it at the start of that engage.
Interesting decision making from Salci there, trying to fight the Olaf. I don't. Okay, all right.
TF Rabadon's
he had to do something,
and now Zonya's.
He had to do something.
And Zonya's. That's huge. Yeah, they have to make plays. They've got to go all out crazy, but I don't think there's any coming back from this, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that is it. I think right now it's just on CLG to push the Nexus. Like,
yeah.
CLG doesn't have to do anything to win at this point. Like, if EG doesn't play everything exactly perfectly, then they lose their entire base to super creeps. So, like, it really is just on CLG to play the waiting game. They're not on the clock even a little bit. I'm pretty sure like two members of CLG could disconnect at this point and they would still get a win, just because of how big of an impact these two inhibitors have on this game.
Mm-hmm. So CLG going to use the typical opportunity just to push the last tower down and the inhibitor, just to put the pressure on even further. Meanwhile,
GG takes the
TF
bottom.
gonna push bottom.
He knows the bottom inhibitor is respawning soon. He wants the wave to be on top of it so it'll instantly take the racks once again.
There's not a lot they can really do about this. He's going to send Udyr bottom to try and stop TF, but TF's damage at the moment is really high.
Yeah. And he's forced Udyr bottom. I think that's going to force a fight up top. Do you think EG is far enough ahead that they want to just dive this? Oh, Sivir's here as well.
Yeah, they're going to lose top because Sivir's here. Well, Udyr does transition straight away to top lane. Meanwhile, Sivir versus TF in bottom.
Oh, she's getting poked so hard by GG here.
Hotshot trying to transition to the bottom lane, but he did get spotted by the wards there, so they're trying to just keep the poke on. So Hotshot got to come to this bottom lane to take this inhibitor. He's going to help GG out here, which I think is a great idea.
Perfect.
There's nothing they can do against two of these.
They know that EG can't win a 2v2.
Meanwhile, the minions are starting to creep against the inhibitor, and top lane continue to be pressured.
Double lift with the Thirster. What do you think of that? Because I think that's really smart. I like the Thirster more than I like the Warmogs. Like, Atmog's Urgot is really good in certain situations, but the fall off is too steep for a lot of comps. I think he maybe could have gotten away with it with this setup, but...
Yeah, possibly. So
this is
Sivir does pop her ultimate, and this is going to be the last stand. Udyr gets hit with the ultimate as well from Lulu. He's going to charge in, but they immediately turn onto Karthus. Karthus drops immediately, and now taking a lot of damage once again from Urgot. Urgot with a nice swap onto Udyr to keep him pinned in, and CLG just going to try and farm the kills now before taking the Nexus and ending the game. So, game 1 for CLG. Accumulation of good play all around, and
I mean that was ridiculous. That was such good play from CLG. They knew every weak point to hit in EG at the different stages of the game, and they just played them so well. It was really impressive. If this is how CLG plays from now on, where was this during the OGN tournament? That's all I'm saying, because this is incredible play. The plays they made there were just incredible. They could beat any tournament playing that way, and that's not what we saw at OGN from CLG, unfortunately. Now, do you think EG needs to change their strat up a little bit? Because I feel like EG had the advantage in picks and team comp, but they just, like, CLG knew exactly where to pressure to.
But as CLG always have been, they're very good at picking teams apart. As in, when they get an advantage, they usually like to keep it and don't overpress it normally.
Yeah.
And that's what CLG do very, very well. And that Dragon, I think, early game kind of threw EG off. I don't think it massively threw them off, but they just slowly got picked apart in different